And you hear the crowd response when Morten was announced not just one of the best players in the game, but one of the most popular players in the community.
Yeah, everybody loves him. He's been streaming so much, 8 hours a day, probably an over-exaggeration, but a lot of the time. And he just has a great standing in the community with just about everyone.
And so Golden Knight on both sides to open up, and the executioner for Morten. It's interesting because Enderg does play some lava, but usually as a snipe against cycle players, so maybe Morten going with this Xe variation early on, even though that's not necessarily what Enderg does in game one.
Yeah, right here, it is going to be an interesting matchup. We do see possibly the Drill, but it still could be RG from Morten, still looking like Drill. And on the opposite end, Enderg, you do have to think that he's leaning towards RG.
Yeah, with those zappies in tow, certainly feels that direction. Enderg and Morten pretty far apart so far in solo earnings. Morten 74,000 earnings so far as a solo player on top of what he did as a teams player. Enderg, the 20,000 he's guaranteed so far, his first bag as a competitive Clash Royale player.
140 in the game. Morten has shown that he has used the Drill. Enderg still has not shown his win condition. Right there, the Golden Knight does get the dash on top of the Witch, but because the Golden Knight was placed just in time, it was able to protect it.
Royal Ghost takes care of business, picked up here by the Giant Skeleton as we have a minute 20 remaining in our regulation period, a few seconds away from double elixir time. And you know, with that 3-card cycle, that Drill will start coming out faster and faster. Who do you give the advantage to, though, against this larger deck as we get later in the game?
Wow, and right there, the Ram Rider comes down. So because it's Ram Rider, I think I would still have to lean for Morten. If it was RG, that's when it gets really weird because we haven't seen the spell. Now with Ram Rider, the cannons, the ice spirits, the log delays, if he uses the lightning or earthquake, will be able to come out. Morten, I think, does have a strong advantage right now.
And now play transferring to the left-hand side of the board as the Golden Knight will pick up the Royal Ghost. A little chip damage from the log. First on that side for Morten.
Executioner does lock onto the Hog, so it won't be able to take out the Golden Knight just yet, but a clean swing of the axe, and it does clean up all the troops. Right now, Enderg's he's only just trying to stack. He's not trying to go for offense. He's waiting till late in double, waiting late in overtime, and then he could even just wait till triple elixir, just because it's hard to get past these kind of defenses.
Poison in, and now that Ram Rider is a nice path, but back to a cannon again is Morten to pick up that Ram Rider. Log no longer in cycle, though. Golden Knight to clean up and not let that connection happen.
155 left. We have hit overtime. 24-89 to 23-41. Only 150 HP separating the two players. Morten has done a brilliant job on defense. But at Enderg, he's just staying in there. This is what he wants.
73% win rate in his golden ticket attempt plays, so certainly put up some good numbers overall. And look, he might not be on paper the guy you think is the #1 or #2, but he did make it to World Finals. That's an accomplishment in itself.
Ghost will need to be defended. We do see the Golden Knight. Will he choose to go in with the dash? It will be able to hit a lot of troops if he uses it. And there we go. We do see the dash able to hit all the troops that he was looking for, and the Executioner to clean it up.
Little zappy chip on the right-hand side, 10 seconds away from triple elixir, and we'll see how much Morten takes advantage of that 3-card cycle with the Drill as we get to the end. And this Mother Witch going into the bridge fight here, maybe opening up an opportunity for him.
Yeah, I'm really shocked that we have not seen Ender's final card. I'm thinking it has to be a small spell, but those are going to do well against the Drill. So still just continuing to cycle all his main troops and not that last card.
And keep in mind, no big spell here for Morten. So if we're talking spell cycle there at the very end, going to be a tall order there against Poison, as the Poison does finally give Enderg the lead with 33 seconds left.
Executioner placed down. He is going to try and win the bridge battle. We are going to see drill after drill after drill, and logs followed as well.
Does Morten get the connection? And he does! Big time connection! 18 seconds left, and he takes the 400 HP lead.
That Executioner plus the log plus the second Executioner is doing work. 1893 to 1392. Morten should take this game.
Wow, this felt like it was slipping out of his fingers. Morten gets the great native action with that Golden Knight. GG, well played. Morten wins game number 1.
I mean, it was anybody's game until the very final 30 seconds, but just...
On the deck picking side for Morten, it's pretty well understood that Julesy will have a clear plan for him in games 1 and game 2. The questions then do rise. If we do make it to game 3, what happens? But at the moment, expect some pretty solid work here out of the duo.
Enderg defending with the Mighty Miner. He is going to go Mighty Miner Drill instead of the Mighty Miner Bait. We saw Bait all the time when it was the Giant Skeleton and the Mirror running rampant throughout the meta. But because of that nerf, it's no longer as scary as it used to be.
And you see Log and NATO both out, so Enderg going Drill here. And those spears get a nice little buff too with Log being off the board. We'll see what the small spell situation here is for the German SK gaming player.
A lot of pressure coming in from Enderg. Morten will be able to scar me on top of the Spear Goblins and doesn't get the split. I'm sure he was looking to try and split them onto the Drill, onto the Spear Goblins at the bridge, but doesn't work out that time. Forced to use the Bar Barrel as well. Lots
to feed that Skeleton King here with the bats and the Skarmy as well. Mortar comes out. This deck was very popular about 2-3 months ago, has fallen a bit out of favor, but of course everybody knows Morten likes running Miner.
That's right. Anytime he can fit a Miner in the deck, you know it's going to be out there. Fire Spirit does jump onto absolutely nothing, so an unfortunate interaction for Ender. Inferno Tower is going to come out as well as the Snowball, so we could see a little bit of pressure depending on what's next, or we could just see the reset. And there we go. We do see the pressure. Miner in the back to take out the Spear Goblins.
What a Miner. What a Miner. Getting on the tower, taking off the spears, connecting that Musketeer, and Morten opens up a big lead with 1:13 left in regulation.
No activation from the Mighty Miner. Is he going to be able to place a card in time? The Skarmy does come out, and the Mighty Miner will get the activation. So it is a 1-for-3, a good spot right there, but obviously still down 750 HP.
And Skarmy just really shuts down that Mighty Miner in these situations. Gotta wonder if maybe Morten was putting Ender on bait with that one. Of course, has the Bar Barrel plus the Skarmy. Works out well here too.
Skeleton King on top of the Drill. The Miner in... Okay, the Miner in the back, not going to do any damage. The Snowball on defense from Ender. And so 700 still separating the two players. Will he try to get the activation? Bats and Spear Goblins will clean this up nicely.
That Musketeer, though, certainly a factor in this one and playing the Skarmy way in the back. Snowball to clean up, Bar Barrel well timed, and keeping that Muskie alive except for those Spear Goblins.
We just see continuing to use the Skeleton King in the back, trying to set up for that one good push. He just can't set up the right push. And right here, this might be it. Musketeer fully healthy.
Did not get the Musketeer with the Fireball. Just a half tile off there. This could be a whole lot of trouble. Bats to pick up the Miner. That's gonna be some significant damage. Mortar, can it break through and connect?
The bats on defense from Ender are so troublesome. Right there, the Fireball does go on top of most of the bats, but still there. Musketeer to protect the Mortar. Left side almost got damaged, but not quite. And this game is getting kind of close. It's getting closer as this game goes on.
That Musketeer just a little bit too close to the Mortar, giving value for that Fireball. So Ender getting a nice little value play to get himself back in this game.
Yeah, and the bats on defense from Ender are getting value every time. But on the opposite end, Morten, it's never getting value. He's always able to snowball bats plus something, and that's just so dangerous when Morten has to defend in the triple elixir moments.
And really good patience there not to pop the ability on the Skeleton King, knowing that with the Musketeer's support, it would survive that fight with the Mighty Miner. And so now it's time to pressure the opposite direction. Snowball does not take care of all those skeletons with this drill push, but a lot of damage coming in. They escape, and now it's Ender in the lead with 56 seconds left.
Again, getting aggressive, 54 seconds left. Skeleton King's ability is 50% of the way there. Will it be able to stop the Goblins before it gets any chip? No. Goblins chip it down to 1209.
This Goblin chip is turning into a real problem here on the later end. Skelly King pops the ability early, not early enough to avoid the Inferno Tower play, but now Miner in, Fireball to support. That's gonna be a lot of damage for the Miner. Snowball to predict, does not get the Skarmy. He should be able to clean up against this Goblin drill with 24 seconds left.
These Musketeers need to be cycled in the middle time and time again. The bats plus the Spear Goblins over the middle of the board are so dangerous. Mortar gets the shot. This is the push.
does stop those goblins. Fireball in. Miner on the tower. 2:47 remaining, and that's too big of a gap for Ender to overcome. He waves the white flag, and Morten's gonna go 2-0 in his first World Finals match.